Hi, I'm Jeff Ludy, the window expert. Today I want to talk to you about why you can see such variation in pricing between different window companies. If you've ever had window companies out to your house, one window company is higher than another one's higher than all of them, right? And then of course you've always got the low price. But today I'm going to talk about main contrast and what would be the reason affecting the difference between company A and company B. For my example here, we're starting with $20,000 sales price on a window package versus $10,000 sales price. And I hear this all the time from people. They say, Jeff, I got two quotes. They seem to be so different. Please help me understand what's going on. So one of the things you've got to remember is this. Not all great window companies are great business owners as well. I know I used to be in the restaurant business, and in the restaurant business, most of the time a great chef, if he opened his own restaurant, would not be open in 5 years. Why? Because he was a great chef, but he was a poor businessman. In fact, if you're going to invest in a restaurant, which I discourage you to invest in a restaurant, they're not that good for investments. Don't invest with one that's a great chef. Invest with one that's a great business owner. Great business owners think about the long term, the long run. Great chefs only think about the food, and they don't have a business mind. Granted, that's a broad statement, but it's not always true, but you've got to think about it in the same way here. This company might be the bottom feeder. They might be going as low as they can go, and the problem is they might be going out of business. So let's break this down. Let's take a typical example of what it might look like so that you can play some numbers in your mind and help understand this. Company A sells you windows that are $20,000 for their package. What are the costs that have to come out of that? The cost of the windows themselves, correct? Usually somewhere around $7,000 or $8,000 on a project like this would be the cost of the windows themselves. Over here, obviously this guy can't sell the same windows because if he bought the same windows at $8,000, he is probably going to go completely broke and make no money. So right away we know that probably the quality of the windows that he's buying are going to be comparatively much lower in cost. Why would they be lower in cost? Because they cost less to make, not because this guy's buying so much volume or because this guy's got a special deal. He's going to have to pay comparable prices for comparable products. So right away, know this, when you pay less money for something, you're probably going to get a lesser quality product. What else is involved with windows? Another thing that's involved is installation. Typically in a case like this, the installation would be somewhere around $4,000 to $5,000 for a project like this. So now you've got, what, 13,000 out of your 20, you have 7 remaining. This guy, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to spend $5,000 on a real high quality install like this person's going to offer you. For example, in our case, we're using actual employees, W-2 employees. They have 401k benefits, they have health insurance, they have vacation, we have workers' compensation insurance, they drive our company trucks. They are our employees. Even when it rains and we can't install windows, we're still paying them their salary. So there's more cost here. This guy's not going to be able to do it for free, but he might get it done for $3,000 in order to save money. Now, a little caution here. Usually in this case, these people are going to be subcontracted. And there's nothing wrong with subcontractors. When I started my company here in Houston, the Window Experts, I started with subcontractors. I could not afford a full-time crew and I could not keep them busy. But there are some things that, even though I save money, there's some things I don't control. Number one, I don't control the quality of the work because they are contractors. Number two, I don't control the quality of the materials that they use that go along with installing the windows, the consumables, whether or not they use foam, what kind of flashing do they use, if any, what kind of caulking do they use, if any. In this case, we're going to spend pretty good money on caulking. We're going to buy the $10 tube stuff. Here they're going to buy stuff for $2 a tube. Now, I made a great video explaining how you can save money by cutting corners. I'm going to put a link to it. You got to watch that so you can see what it is they're doing. But probably the biggest factor here, this is the biggest thing to be careful for, is you don't know who you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. These guys are getting paid by the window, which means the more windows they install in a day, the more money they make in a day. There's an incentive to hurry up. These people, they get paid a salary or an hourly rate. It goes against the idea of hurrying up and just getting the job done and getting out of here. So you've got to contrast that because this is the part and this is the part. These are the two main things you're going to live with for as long as you live in that home. I saw a restaurant the other day. They have a $10 hamburger, which is kind of an expensive burger for a fast food place. They had a sign out there that said, sure, you could buy a cheaper burger, but then you'd have to eat it. And what I'm saying here is, sure, you could buy a cheaper window project, but then you'd have to live with it. And unlike a hamburger, right, this is something you're going to put into your home and you're going to keep it for a very, very long time. So this guy's already spent $7,000. He's got 3 left. This guy over here has spent $13,000. He's got 7 left. Here may be some of the differences. We know that approximately around 20% cost is what's involved in overhead. Just running a company, having all the people in place that you need to have in place, the rent, the lights, the showroom, insurance, paying your taxes, those are those things too. This guy's got the same thing, only his is smaller because he's working off maybe a smaller number. So 4 plus 3 is 7, that's 9. This guy made about $1,000. Now he might think that he made a lot of money until his truck breaks and then he realizes he's never putting money aside to fix his truck. Or until he gets sick for a week and now all of a sudden no one's out making sales. These kind of guys right here, these are the ones that I hire a lot. They come to work for me because they got tired of working for him. They got tired of not getting paid on Friday. They got tired of being blamed for why this window didn't fit, or hey, that window leaked, you got to go back on a callback. This guy right here has no money to fix your problem if he made a mistake. If this guy scratches your floor, if somehow his work does not work and your furniture's damaged or the water's leaking through the windows or something, there's no money left here to take good care of you. This guy, right, he spent 8 plus 5 plus 4, right? So in this case, we're at about, what is that, 8 and 5 and 4. We are at $17,000. This guy made $3,000 profit. And you know what that is? That's 15% profit. I think anybody who is doing a good job, who's taking care of their customers, ought to be able to earn a 15% profit. You know what companies with a 15% profit do, the good ones? They reinvest it. They reinvest it into buying better vehicles. They reinvest it into expanding their footprint. They use it for marketing. They use it to give raises to their employees. They use it so that if they ever have a problem, they're still in business. They can survive 3 months of bad economy, right? So the question is, why would you choose this guy over this guy when you're getting an inferior product with typically an inferior installation and possibly with a company that's going to go out of business? The only reason you would do it is if you're flipping a house. If you said, I just need windows, I need a 1-year warranty, I got to get out of here, I don't care, congratulations. But if you are someone like me who values quality, I'm not saying that you need to buy the most expensive window in the world, but you do value quality and you want someone that's going to take good care of you, someone that's going to stand behind their work and their promises, you know what? You might have to spend more because you're going to get more. I heard a saying one time to say that cheap labor is rarely skilled, skilled labor is rarely cheap. You get what you pay for. I mean, if it's important to you to get this done right, you're going to have to make a decision between cost and value. These windows aren't more expensive, they're more costly. This might save you money today and cost you a lot more in the long run. Which do you prefer? Now, if you live in the Houston area or the DFW area, you live in Texas, I might be able to help you, right? I'm the founder of The Window Experts. But if you don't live in this area, I get so many people who watch my videos, they ask me all the time, Jeff, do you know anybody in New Jersey, or do you know anybody in Seattle? Do you know anybody in LA? I do, actually. I know great window companies all over the country who do it the right way. People I'm proud to say are my friends. If you're looking for a great window company near you, check out a website I built just for that purpose. It's called jeffslist.com. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. I'll talk to you again real soon.